Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the CAA, ACMG, and CSGA joint CPD sessions, the fall series. First off, a few housekeeping notes, folks. You guys are all muted and your video cameras are off when you log in today. There will be time for questions during the presentation today. And I ask that the best way to do that, I feel, is if you raise your hand. We can get you to do a verbal question, and then you can ask directly to the presenter, have a little interaction, and then once you're done, you can just mute yourself off. You can also turn your video camera on when you do that, just have a really good interaction. You can also hit the chat box, which is great, but sometimes it's hard for me to portray what the question is that you're asking in detail. With that being said, all these series today, the CPD events, are sponsored by Arc'teryx today. Thank you very much for their support. And we're going to move on to the third session today. Today, we're going to have Stuart Smith. He's the InfoEx manager, and he's going to talk about the new apps launched in the InfoEx realm. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Stuart. Looks good there, Stuart.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Brent, and thanks everyone for joining us today. As Brent said, I think we'd like to make this as interactive as possible. So please do jump in anytime you've got a question. So mostly I'll be moving to using InfoEx live, as it were. But I thought before we do that, maybe just set the scene a bit and make sure we're all on the same page as to how we got to where we are today. So I'm going to start with a few talk through a few slides just to set the scene. So I believe you're seeing the slide deck now.
Yes, we are. We're on your opening slide.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about the InfoEx project today a fair bit, and the origins of it were Terra funded the previous version of InfoEx. That was number 3 to around $1 million around the 2013 time. And that the outcome of that project was handed over to our single CA developer at the time, who was Luke. And then we added a second developer when we had some international expansion with providing service for the Swedish government and then the full international system. So there were many positives through InfoEx 3.0. We managed iterative development to move functionality forward, stabilize the app significantly. But there was some essential servicing that was missed. So technologies move on, and basically the front end hit a point that a completely new desktop application using up-to-date technologies was needed. And the InfoEx 3 was designed for desktop only, so mobile functionality was clearly missing. So the InfoEx project was born, and as part of the InfoEx project, we expected the server side was kind of ready to support the new front end, but as the project developed and more experienced developers from the contractors got involved, it became apparent that while this was like correct, superficially, it wasn't the whole story. So the InfoEx project background, it's been funded by the Canadian federal government Search and Rescue New Initiatives Fund for a 3-year project, and we're now halfway through the 3rd year. As part of the application, CAA and subscribers pledged significant in-kind contributions for the software development, design, and giving feed on how it's working through testing. And InfoEx stands for Mobile Avalanche Information Exchange. The objectives of the project are to develop a robust online data exchange optimized for both mobile and desktop devices, and implement a design which supports system upgradability and ongoing feature enhancements in a rapidly changing technological landscape. So where we're up to, we've recently launched the new desktop app, and there's a new mobile app. Let's call it phase 2. There was a phase 1, and phase 2 has come on as part of this project. And the new app functionality has been tested by the project working group as we've been moving forward. The CA team works with the contractors that are hired as part of the project, and we work as a single development team. And should note that the English French language support is designed in, not implemented yet, but the frameworks are there to allow that to happen, along with potentially other languages as well. So as mentioned, on the server side, we found it more fragile to change than expected, and there were kind of many old patterns uncovered that that we should be kind of moving forward with new ways of doing things. And also, I think worth noting, with regards to the mobile side of the project in particular, is that offline usage will become much more important as mobile devices go in and out of connectivity. So far, initial testing with the mobile app has been positive since it was launched, but there's it's really challenging, really complex to make sure that all works robustly. So that's something that we need to keep in mind of moving forward. The other another key aspect of the project was implementing a custom design process. Kind of key aims there to help make InfoEx usage more intuitive for people, and also, most importantly, to support ongoing enhancements without being locked into kind of designs that are restrictive, which was one of the challenges with the previous app. The flip side is the doing custom designs for web applications is very complex. So that's the trade-off there. So where we're up to, the major focus has been on having the new desktop app ready for this season, and anything not essential for this has been deferred until the desktop app is stable. So there's lots of stabilization, lots of design user interface improvements and other things still to do. We've got a big backlog of tasks which we're prioritizing. So there's a bunch to do still, and as part of being as ready as we can for winter, we're kind of seeking as much testing as possible over the next few days and weeks, so that the more bugs we can find and fix now soon, the smoother the transition will be for everyone. And in conjunction with the new desktop app, the project, obviously, mobile side of it, hugely important. So also been looking at offering more mobile functionality, and the primary aim there is to offer all data input via your phones, and then looking forward a tablet experience that's probably closer to desktop than the phone. So the key there, especially for the data input side of things, is making data entry more flexible and decoupling the data entry types that previously could only be submitted through workflows. So that was Snowpack summaries, freeform, control planning, and they've already been decoupled from workflows and are available in the mobile app. The freeform has been enhanced with a rich text editor and attachments, and freeforms now go all the way through and can appear in reports with options to share them or keep them private. What this means is that freeform configuration has been taken out of workflows and moved to its own separate configuration. So freeform templates are now set up in settings outside of workflows, and then they can be used in both workflows and in entering data outside of workflows. So the next step of the decoupling is to move on to persistent weak layers, avalanche problems, hazard assessment, and that's about to get going with that, hopefully. And the control planning is kind of a work in progress, and that too now appears in reports. As part of the project, I guess for the kind of future-proofing aspect, we needed to significantly overhaul the whole reports service. So that's viewing data that you or other subscribers have put in. So there's the infrastructure there has been completely rebuilt from the previous app. So there's clearly risks with that, and we're currently kind of stress testing how it's coping with being used for real, and that will continue as more users come online. So what that means is if you set up report templates in the old app, because everything is new, there's a need to reconfigure any custom report templates you want to use in the new app. So standard reports are there as a starting point, or maybe adequate for you, but you can certainly get into a whole realm of customization as well. So the observation template, so that's configuring your data entry forms to kind of meet your specific needs. That function is new as well, and they need to be built in the new app. And there's the new option of being able to set up different templates for different weather sites, and they work. The same template works for your whole operation, both on the desktop and in mobile. So that's set up by your operation administrators. So today, when we get into the app, we'll be probably covering some stuff that kind of everyone has access to and will use, and then there'll be also some things that operation administrators are only have access to, and they will need to be looking at specifically for for getting things set up for your usage this season. In the new app, there's also long requested changes to recording of avalanche occurrence time. And yeah, maybe I've got a couple more slides, but maybe if people can have a think, when we get into InfoEx, I'm gonna maybe if someone's willing, look at going into an actual operation, seeing how it looks when you first come in, and then looking at what needs to be done to make any setup changes that will be needed to get you running smoothly when you're operational. So if your operation might volunteer for that, I'll loop back to that in a few minutes. So that would be great if there's someone there, and even better if your operation has maybe 2 or 3 free forms that are used in workflows. If they're 10, 20, it's going to be a bit more tedious. So that would be the ideal ask there. So there's a bunch of work still in progress, and whilst Runlist should be working right now, there's a enhanced configuration for that that's been completed and is in final testing, and there's also enhanced configuration that's virtually ready as well for the avalanche control extension. Hopefully they're good enhancements by themselves, but also hopefully will allow more improvements to be made as we move forward. With regards to the avalanche control extension or anyone who uses photo overlays, right now, as the previous app, you get a one chance at doing them, and they're not editable. But we hope to make them editable right through the process very soon as well. That's being worked on right now, so that's using a new technology to allow that. But there's a bunch of challenges that we're facing. There's a large amount of behind-the-scenes server-side work still stacked up, and inevitably with a large-scale software development project, we haven't got everything right the first time. So that's both kind of behind the scenes for you in the code that may need restructuring, and for instance in observation entry, both perhaps the code might need some restructuring, and we think that the drop-down menu that was that's there at the moment, again, that probably needs changing. So there's all those sorts of things in mind as to we've done something and hope to make it better as time moves on. So looking forward, the transition from the stable previous application to the new app will have pain points, and the September launch was kind of done to try and make this as few pain points as possible. So dealing with problems in an iterative way as people come online through the fall, rather than having a big bang of an early season release, everyone using it, and then discovering a bunch of problems. Because like we've done testing right through. The working group has been doing testing, but inevitably with a complex application that is configurable, people have different setups with different kind of subtleties to their processes, and these are for sure going to uncover bugs that have been missed so far. So I guess what I think I'm saying is the desktop app launch is a vital stepping stone to where we want to get to. There's lots been achieved, and it's great we're here, but there's still lots and lots of work to do. And I would I guess probably make the point that myself and the project team are committed to resolving any problems as you find them, and let us know about them. And we really do want to make your InfoEx usage as efficient as possible. So if you're interested, there are test sites that mirror the real sites, and you should have access to them by signing in with your normal username and password. So the URLs are there, and they're available for everyone to be testing with. So they're completely separate from the real InfoEx systems and databases. So that's good, so that you can't, there's no cross contamination of data, but that of course means anything done in these systems is not reflected in the real system, and emails are switched off in the test system as well. Okay, so I'm going to switch to InfoEx now for real, but maybe a good point to pause and see if there are any questions on what we've talked about so far.
Yeah, currently we have no questions from the floor there, Stuart.
Okay, thanks, Brent. Then let's get on. So I'm slightly apprehensive with what's about to happen. Doing live demos seems to be a very good way to discover previously uncovered bugs or problems. So please be patient with me if that happens today. I guess the flip side is anything we find today, hopefully we can fix and resolve before it affects too many people. So what I'll maybe do is give a quick tour of the new desktop application, and then if we do have any volunteer operations come forward, I'll switch to them, and we can start doing some setup and configuration. So yeah, I guess if feel free any operations if you're up for doing some config, maybe drop a note in the chat. Okay, so I'm in our test site. You'll see the URL is the test one, and I've come to the home page. And at the moment, the one of the to-do tasks is to kind of implement what will be our homepage going forward, and we've got a bunch of good ideas as to what might work well for folks there. But at the moment, there's some key info for getting started, so that's good reading to look at, and mostly it points to some help videos that I've put together. Hopefully these will be developed over time as as things become clearer and provide more information as to what people need. But that they're there right now, and there's kind of a few help videos on the key things that we're going to cover now. Maybe worth noting right now is for installing the mobile app, there's separate videos for how to do it on Android and how to do it on iPhone. Basically, Android you can use Chrome, but on your iPhone you need to use Safari, as that's a restriction of Apple. So I'm going to give a quick tour of the new app. I think the kind of headline is that for people that are familiar with InfoEx, fundamentally things have not changed that much. The design is new, the layout's new, but how you go about using InfoEx and how it's put together is very much the same. So we've been trying to make iterative enhancements and improvements as we go along, and that will hopefully continue into the future. So kind of your main I guess navigation is in the left menu here, which you can actually collapse and expand to make more screen space. So your workflows should all be there from the previous application, and more or less ready to go, but we'll touch on what config is needed later. So you have access to all your workflows here, and starting new, or you have access to your historic workflows through the calendar there. So that's the main workflows page, and you'll see here you actually manage your workflows through the option on the page there, which takes you into being able to edit each of your workflow templates. So the next menu down is observations. So this is basically data going into InfoEx, and this is where that happens. So you're probably familiar that there's an optional two-stage data submission process. With the different user levels in InfoEx, you can either have your submission moderators and operation administrators submit observations directly to the database, to be shared with others, or for users, they can take a two-stage process. So they would enter the data via the enter data menu here. And this is the drop-down menu that I think we'll likely be looking at laying out a bit differently in the future. And then we have review data. So a couple of people have been confused with this already. So this is the second of the two-stage process for submitting data to the database. So this is data that is in process of being submitted, and your option here is to submit to InfoEx. This is not consuming data that's already been submitted by you and others, which is done through reports. So this is data in. And then you've got templates here, so you can manage your observation template, and this is the function here to do that. So let's just have a quick look in here. So I'm beginning to set up an avalanche observation template here, and we're about to improve the UI for this. But the process is that you go to the left-hand side. Let's start from something fresh, maybe. You go to the left-hand side, and if you want a comment to be a favorite field, you click on your comment there. And maybe you want terrain features, so you do that. And then perhaps you want attachments as well, so you add that in. And then you can order the different different fields here and the sections as well. So this is where the UI is about to be improved, because this ordering is very subtle. But more or less, if you want terrain features before comment, you can move that up. And if you want attachments before them both, you can go to the attachments and move that above. So I've set that up there. I'm going to save this as active. So when I go to enter data and terrain, you'll see your favorite fields here are just as we've set them out. Attachments before the terrain used, before the comment. So that's the principle there, and that goes, as I was saying, all the way through to mobile devices, and the same for all the other observation types there. So if we just go back quickly and look at the weather one. So your option here is for your specific templates for different weather sites. So there's one already set up for what's called the test location. And you'll see here we've got some fields configured there. So, for instance, if you if you have different fields that you use in your different weather sites, you can set them up differently. So that's in there. And when I go to the menu here, we've got the special option here because we've set up a special weather template. So I can go into that, and it's the same pre-filling as before. This is actually connected to one of the BC MOTI auto stations, and you'll see it's pre-filled into the fields there with the auto data, and you've got the option to look at your hourly data as well there. So that's the same as the previous application. So we're moving on now. That's data going in. And next we have reports. So reports is you consuming data that's already been submitted to the application. So that's data that your observation has submitted to the database, and that's data that all the other observations that share data have also submitted to the database. So your starting point will be the system templates here. So there's some of them set up, for instance, the standard today report. And that allows you to begin to edit. So I'm not going to edit right now in the hope that we get maybe get a volunteer operation. We can do that for real. If not, we'll loop back there and see what we can do.
You can use Crested Butte if you want. We don't utilize the InfoEx platform to the full extent, but feel free to use ours.
Okay, great. I think that's Krista. So thanks for that. And yeah, well, I guess we can see how that goes. If maybe that'll be good. Maybe if someone else with a fuller setup might also come forward. And then we've got the photo overlays. So this is the viewer here. So if you draw photo overlays, I just put one in earlier. You can view them there. And moving to the bottom, looks like Judson has a question. So the yeah, there's a bunch of kind of test data in here, Judson. Basically the reports that are in the real system are the three, the messages, the standard today, and the standard yesterday. So there's a bunch of test data in the test system. It's just a different template. Okay, so onto settings. You won't see the application settings. I see that because I'm a super user. So operation administrators have their operation settings. So the location catalog functionality is very similar to the previous app, and it's due a redesign, which is in progress as well. So that's you know, if you're familiar with that, the concept is exactly the same, that you're starting with an operation area, and then it's kind of a tree structure that you build out with parent and child relationships. User management is again the same functionality as the previous application. So yeah, if you're familiar with that, then that's going to work the same. And we'll likely come to freeform templates in a bit, and the run list and the avalanche control config. Again, that's pretty much the same, and the avalanche control is a work in progress there. So we're just finishing that off to allow you to order control groups. But the enhancements here is you can have if you want, you can have like default team members for specific routes, and you can also, you're not restricted to the location catalog structure for your groupings here. You start with your control routes as your parents, and that's predefined, but within your control routes you can actually now do what you want with adding different avalanche paths and different shot placements and removing them as you want. And I'll just quickly note that there's, in the help, there's a reset cache option. So that might be used probably most likely in conjunction with me if something's gone wrong. But that basically resets the system to kind of clean out any problems that may have arisen. And you can also refresh your cache, which is needed for the offline usage here. And finally, you can set up your change your email address, change your password, and also set up any PDF reports to be emailed to you. Okay, so maybe Corey, thanks. Maybe we'll go to Jasper National Park first, because I think your setup is perhaps more standard than Krista Butte's, and then we'll see how we go, and Krista can maybe get to you afterwards, depending on how we're doing for time. Again, I'll maybe pause and see if there's any questions now.
I have a quick question, Stuart. This is Krista.
Great, Krista.
I kind of tuned in just a little bit late. I was having some internet issues, but did you say like when the email option would be online and available to start using like we do with our PM forms?
So that's emailing that's email. I believe you're talking about emailing a PDF of your submitted workflows.
Yeah, I'm used to just do that as a PM form every evening. And right now, when you're trying to do a test one, obviously it's not working yet.
So it won't work in the test site because the emails are switched off, but that functionality should be working in the real site. So that's nothing's really changed with that, and that should be fully functional.
Okay, I copy. Thank you.
Okay, so into Jasper National Park. So it looks like we've got a couple of workflows, and these are probably the things to start looking at. So we'll take a view and see what happens. So if we look at our managing workflows, and we edit the template for the morning one. Well, looks like Corey, maybe you've done it all already, have you? This is wonderful. I was expecting a lot of red flashing saying you need to do some stuff.
I wasn't sure if you wanted that or if you wanted one that was done already. So
well, this is kind of good. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be good to see what maybe I'll talk through what you did, and then if someone else wants to volunteer that hasn't done the setup already, then we can look at them as well. So what would have happened is that Corey would have found that there were problems with both the freeform templates and potentially reports. So he would have gone to settings and freeform templates, and he's already set up these 5 freeform templates. So this is an opportunity to review them. You might want to replicate exactly how they were in the previous application, or you might want to make some adjustments. And this is the template builder here. So more or less it's the same, and you can put in. You now need to associate it with a location. But I don't think that's really very important in the scheme of things. You can choose probably a high level location for that. And then you've got the name of the template, instructions, and then in the rich text editor here, you can put any default content, and you've got you can do lists, make things bold, italics, that sort of thing with bullet points there. And then you've got the same again. Do you want to pre-fill? You could pre-fill with your default content, or pre-fill with your last submission. So those pre-fill options are the same. And then you've got a checkbox to say when these free forms get into reports, are they going to be private, or are they going to be shared with other operations? So that's what's happened there, and these will be the same for each of them. And then when you go back to your workflows, we're going to manage them again. So basically, when you go into your freeform step now, all you're doing is saying, I want to use this freeform template. So that's the choice that is available here. So you're going to be doing that, and each of them. So weather forecast is set to weather forecast. Basically, the name takes the name of the template. The name of the step takes the name of the template. So that's all good. So those free forms are now ready to use. And the other thing that will have been wrong is InfoEx report. So that would have been set to a report from the previous system, which wouldn't have worked. So what you can do is drop in your any of this system reports or your own custom reports. So it looks like Corey's, as well as having the option of the system reports, he's also created Justin National Park past week summary and avalanche observation season to date report. So again, you're just picking the step there to make that happen. And that's the main thing. So we've looked at the freeform templates. So that's a key thing to get those set up. And here you see the reports that Corey set up for Jasper National Park. We've got the system reports that everyone has, and there's two reports that have been pre-configured here for the operation. So I think what I'll do now is maybe look at that in more detail in our test system. So I guess let's just imagine you want to make a custom report. So you're probably going to start with standard today, and I'll try and touch on all the configuration options here. There's a lot of functionality here, a lot of complexity, I guess a lot of potential for bugs. So we'll see how we go here. But basically, you can say, I want to edit the template. So we're gonna click that on, and now we're in editing mode. So you've got a bunch of configuration you can do. Currently, the report is set to today, and you can change the date setting to be whatever you want, more or less. So you've got two options. You can either have relative dates, so that's today, whenever today is, yesterday, month to date, year or season to date, or a last number of days. You can enter any number of days for, or if you prefer, you can hard code a date range in. So that would be a report that always generates for the same dates whenever you look at it. So more likely, you're going to be using some of these relative dates to have data that updates as you move through the season. Next along, and you see there's hover information. You have the locations for the report, and you've got four options here. You've got, first of all, your own location catalog. So you can pick as many or as few locations from your own location catalog that you'd like to use. You can then go to operation and pick a selection of operations. So for instance, one of them which you might use is just selecting your own operation. So I've now changed the selection to only be for my own operation. Other options are in Canada and Sweden, you can select mountain ranges, or even more powerfully, you can go to a map view and simply draw a polygon to cover data that's been submitted within that polygon. So that's a hugely powerful function to capture any data that's in a specific geographical area that you are interested in. The options here now is show latest in day, and normally you want to switch that on. So for instance, you're not seeing 2 snowpack descriptions or 2 hazard assessments for the same operation, AM and PM in the same day. So that restricts to the latest in the day. And the include proprietary data, that's data that you've tagged not to share with other operations. So that could be free forms, that could be control planning, or that could be from the avalanche control extension, the observations there that you don't want to overload the data exchange with too many similar, perhaps less important observations. You can switch the view from the tab layout to all-in-one table. And then we're on to the group by options. So you can group by mountain range, which is what it's set to. You can group by operation. You can group by date, which makes sense if you've got a multi-day report, or you can have no grouping at all. So traditionally, we've grouped the standard reports by mountain range in the Canadian system. Then you get into kind of your more detailed filter options. So maybe first of all is customizing the table. So this is a table level setting. We're looking at avalanche observations right now. So you're customizing the avalanche observation table. And basically this is all the fields that exist in the database that you can enter data for, and you can switch them on and off. So, you know, it's very simple. You're just clicking on and off, and that will then be reflected in what fields and what columns are available here. So maybe we then want to add some filters. So this is filtering on a column. So you can do a bunch of things here. Yeah, for instance, you can do some filtering on a comment. Maybe you're interested in all comments that have slab in them. You could save that, and that would filter to them. And there's a whole bunch of filtering you can do. Then when you get to the sorting, there's some options here. For instance, this table has a single column sort on, so the multi-column sorting toggle is off, and we've got a single sort on operation there. But for instance, in the weather observations, multi-column sorting is on, and you're then sorting first by operation, then by location, and then by whatever that is, time. So that's the filtering options there. So for instance, if we I don't know, let's go back to hazard. So if we wanted, this doesn't make sense, but just for demonstration purposes, we could turn multi-column sorting on. And first of all, we'll say, I want to sort by operation. So I clicked in there. Then maybe I want to sort by time. So that's going to be the second filter there. And then maybe by type. No, it doesn't work for some reason. Then by location, so that you've then got the time and the location. So that's how the multi-column sorting works. It's a wee bit finicky, but you can hopefully play around and get that to work how you want. We've got a question there from Dorian. Does the new system allow the option to view operational data graphically? Well, there was a charting function in the previous version of InfoEx that has not been re-implemented yet, but is on the list of things to do. So as of now, there's the views are the tabular view, and we haven't got there yet, but there's a map view as well, which we'll look at in a minute, and then a charting view will hopefully be coming online in due course. So we're into the tables here, and the other things you can do after your sorting is you can resize your columns. You see that I've grabbed the edge here and I'm moving the size of the columns. So you can configure that however you want. And then you can also reorder. And if you see, you get the grab hand here. So if I want to move size, I'm going to move size over to here. And there you go, you've moved size. So basically, the column widths and the ordering of the columns are how you would like to use them. So I think that's the main things here. So if you're happy with your report, you're going to go to the Save Changes. And if you're administrator, you can save it as an operation report, or you can save it as anyone can save their own personal reports. So I'm going to save this one as a personal report. So let's call it demo. So when I go back to the report menu, you see that I've got a report added for a personal report for me that's called demo. So if we look back at a previous report here, let's just look at a report from last season with some data in it. So this has got some real data. You'll see there's attachments here, and you can click in obviously to open one. The icons have been enhanced so that you'll be able to distinguish between what are overlays and what are actual photos. And then you'll see here that there's two attachments. So if you click into that row, then you get both the attachments, which you can open in your tabs. So this is a difference from the previous version. So you'll see where there's the ... here. you can click in and view the comment by clicking in to each row to get the detail. I think that's maybe one of the kind of more notable changes. Maybe other than that, I think most things are probably fairly similar to what are you used to. And then, as we were talking about, there's the map view as well. So anything you do in the map view is, again, you can save it as part of your template. So if you want to look at your avalanche observations, you've got the same functionality here as in the previous application, and you can drill in there and turn the layers on and off. And the same story, you can drill in to get the details of your hazard assessments there. Okay, does anyone have any questions on reports specifically, or I guess anything else in general?
Looks like there's no questions from the floor again there, Stuart.
Okay, so let's look at the mobile side of things, and this is a bit different on a Zoom call demo. But what I'm going to do is mock. I'm going to mock a mobile device. So we're now in the kind of mocking of the mobile application that you would get on your phone. So it's the data entry side of things is what's available at the moment. So you've got enter data, which can be done through the plus button here, and you'll see it's the same menu as before. So if we go into the weather site, you've got the same functionality. It's pre-filled again, and you're doing exactly the same thing as you did on your desktop to do an observation. And then there's a review option. So this is the same review screen as in the desktop. And I'll reiterate, this is not consuming data that has already been submitted. This is part of the data submission process. So these are observations that are in progress in your operation that still need to be submitted to InfoEx. So we've got 3 of them there, and they are there, and they can be submitted to InfoEx. So if I want to submit them to InfoEx, you can either do them one at a time. There's a slidey, so you can go side to side. I'm pulling to the left and the right to allow deletion or submission individually. So if I want to submit that observation, I can do that. And that leaves the 2 that are left. And if I want to submit those 2, they should go to InfoEx. And then say you're out in the field on your phone. Let's just put in some pretend data. So we've got snow profile here. Just going to put in some nonsense. So you might be on your mobile device, and you're going to share that to your operation. So that's now gone. So now I'm going to go back to the well, first of all, it's going to appear in your review screen on your mobile device, because that's still an in progress observation. And then I'm going to flip back to the desktop view. So if we go to review data, this is the data I've just shared. So again, if you want, you can review it when you're maybe back indoors. Perhaps you need to make a correction. You can do that, make the changes. And that's now been saved back to the server in the review status. So if I go back to the mobile device, again, the changes here have been that we've just made are now reflected in the review screen on the mobile device. And you can submit them either from the mobile device or from the desktop device to InfoEx. So I've submitted a few observations there. So we would expect if we go back to reports, and for today, we've maybe got some more data. So there they are. So those are now submitted. So your review data section here is now empty because those have been finally submitted, and that means they're available to be consumed in the reports section, and that's where they end up, and that's where you can read the data that's been submitted both by you and by other operations. So, I just see a question popped up. There is not, I believe, a way to see usernames when reviewing submitted observations, John. The only naming is in the Avalanche control extension where you might have your control team named. So I'm just going to look quickly here at the free form. So if we go into a workflow that's an actual got a freeform step, you'll see the pre-fill here has happened. And for instance, you could add some attachments if you want. So they're now added here, and you can actually order them by dragging and dropping. And then when you get to the summary screen, you've got your text here, and you've also got your images or PDFs or even videos should work that are now available to be viewed there. So they are submitted as part of your workflow. And then once they're submitted in your historic workflow view, they're also available to be viewed there. I see a question from Judson. It does not include that right now, Judson, but yes, it is planned. That's a snow, I guess, integrating I guess a full snow profiling tool into InfoEx. So the idea there being you can at the moment, for instance, in a snow profile observation, you have an attachment option, so you can get an output from your snow profiling app as a PDF or an image and share it in InfoEx that way. But the kind of the goal sometime in the future is to have I guess a snow profiling app more fully integrated with InfoEx, so that would allow you to do the building your snow profile within InfoEx and then saving the profile as actual data rather than as a PDF or as a JPEG. So that would allow more powerful functionality going forward, and potentially, you know, tie in with PDFs you might have tagged in InfoEx, and likely there's other kind of enhancements that would arise from being able to do that. Okay, I think that covers those messages there. I'm conscious we're running over time already. I think I've kind of hit the main points that I was hoping to, but I'm guessing maybe there's still things that perhaps we haven't touched on yet that folks might be interested in, or perhaps some more questions arising. So Johnny, yes, you should be able to open the mobile app whilst you're offline, and it should work offline. And if the app is still open when you come back into connectivity and you've said, I've got data that I want to submit or share, it should automatically upload that data, or you can wait until you're back online and then do that whilst online. Nadine, if you make adjustments to already submitted data, will it update that existing observation, or will it create a new line in the public report? So are you referring to observations that you've you know, you've gone through here, you've shared to operation, and then you're seeing at the review stage? So at this stage, it's totally editable. So you can do what you want. And at this point, it is not, when people go to reports, it's not appearing in reports. So you can edit this, and then only when you hit submit to InfoEx at this point is it shared to other people. So once that's happened, if we put now shared, so you've been able to edit it up to now, is now shared. So I'm submitting that. So you're now, anyone is going to see this who you share data with in reports. So this now shared. As of right now, you cannot do any more. This has been submitted and cannot be changed. But there's been a long-standing request to be, if you've made a mistake and got through the two-stage process, to be able to make edits, and that is again on the list of things that we hope to get to quite soon. Is that what you were asking, Nadine?
Yeah, that's it. I just, you know, once in a while when those errors get made and you don't notice them, you nailed it. Thanks, Stuart.
Okay. So yeah, still fielding questions, or maybe I've glossed over some things that you might be really interested in, and if so, we can dive deeper. And if there's nothing else, I mean, I guess people can drop off when they want, but I'd be very happy to go into Butte Krista and see what happens when we go in there. So if there's no more questions arising, maybe I'll do that now. Okay, so the key thing is to look at your workflows, and until we look, we don't know what's going to work and what isn't going to work.
Yeah, I've barely opened it up, Stuart, to be honest. So everything needs to be done here.
Okay, so I've not seen this before, so this is quite interesting. I'm not sure why the context step is not happy, but the comments here. So you'll see this is red, and you've got a big red box there, and there's some help text. So it's telling you a template must be created in operation settings, freeform templates, and selected for the workflow step. A template can only be used once in a workflow. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So we need a template called comments. So I'm going to go to settings, freeform templates. I'm going to add a new template. So let's say it's for your whole operation area. Let's call it comments. You can put instructions. And then I don't know if you had any default content there, but let's pretend you didn't. So you can choose the pre-filling here, either default content or last submission, and then whether it's private or not. So let's say that's all good. You're going to save that. And I'm now going to go back to workflows. So I have a template there. I'm going to go back to manage workflows. So now when I go to freeform, I've got an option here. So that's the template I just created. And now I can drop that in, and that's good. So that's good to go. We can say that step's done.
Stuart, back on that page, that box right there at the bottom, click on the comments. Yep. Enable distribution list. Can you touch on that?
Yep. So that's if you want an email distribution list for this specific step. And if you do, you can enter it here, and there's still the same option for having a distribution step for your entire workflow, and that's here. So this has been really interesting. It's now seems to be kicking in correctly. I'm not sure what it didn't like before. But you're saying you've got your AM workflow. It's a forecast or a nowcast for the current day. You can put a time, and this is your distribution list here. So you can enter. This should have pre-filled if one was set up before. I'm not sure if one was, but anyway,
yeah,
you can.
We have it set up that the AM form doesn't get mailed out, but the PM form does have a distribution list.
Right. Okay. Well, that's making sense so far then. So this looks like it might be good now. So we can say that's done. Let's look at your observation step. So you're inputting weather observations, potentially avalanche observations, and message as part of this step. So that looks okay. And you've also got a snowpack step. So there's nothing you need to do there if that's all the same. So that's all good. We should be able to save and exit the workflow now. And we're going to go to actual workflows, and we should be able to, fingers crossed, start it now. And there we go. So we're into the observation, and we're in the real system, so I won't submit any data. But you can start putting in your weather observation. So you've no template set up, but if you did want to set up a template, you get your favorite fields coming in here between the required fields and the custom fields. So you have an observation there. You can do your snowpack, start doing some PWL assessments, and then you've got your comments here that you can add in. And I won't go any further than this, but this is a workflow ready to submit now, and I'm going to delete it rather than submit it. But that should be good to go, as it were. So let's look at the PM one, maybe. Okay, so looks like you've got a couple of free forms here. So we need, oh, there we go. We've got your distribution list. So that's that looks all good. It should have ported over, and it looks like it has. But we've got two red warnings. We've got 2 more freeform templates to set up. So they're called operational objectives for tomorrow and weather forecast. So we need to come out of here, and we need to go back to freeform templates, and we're going to add a new template. So it's the same process again. I'm sorry, I've forgotten what it was called already. Can you remember, Trista?
Yeah, it's hold on, and I'm gonna report to my workflow. Our PM form. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You can edit this later. So
Yeah, I see where you're going though, for me to create some of these templates, and that's what I really need to do.
yeah. So let's I'll just put test here. Thank you, Nadine. I'm going to copy and paste that. Oh, well, that's no good. Okay, there we go. And if you had default content, you could put that in there. So it's the same. And we're going to save that. And then we need one more. And you can just put whatever you want there. And let's pretend there's no default freeform content. So I think you're getting the idea here. We're going back, going to manage the template. And we can drop these in now. So you've got the choice of the 3 of them. You can, if you want, have the same template in an AM and a PM workflow, or you can have separate ones. So we're going to have our operational objective for tomorrow. Did I get that round the wrong way? And the weather forecast. Ooh, something's gone wrong here. Yeah, some sort of glitch. Maybe I will just delete that. So this is how you would do it from the start. Hopefully this works. So it then can reorder. Where was it in there? Step 4. And then your weather forecast. Call that done. And that way, not sure if we've got the order right.
It's
Anyway.
okay. Like I said, we need to really get in here, but now I'm having a better idea about creating these templates and moving them around.
Yep. So I think that's good. And with any luck, this is working now. So you've got your observations for weather observation, avalanche observations, operational objective for tomorrow, weather forecast, other observations, and you're good. So that's kind of the main things. Basically, it's new freeform templates, and then potentially doing customization of reports that we touched on already. I think there might be some more questions come in. Nathan, is there any way to enable multiple users to be editing info on one AM workflow, or starting with one user, saving, and another user continuing to edit? So that's another long-standing request, basically to be able to I think start a workflow. If you're on the same computer, then yes. But I think the use case here is more often different people in different places, and that is not able, that can be done right now. You can't toss a workflow from one computer to another, but it's again on the list of things we really want to do, and hopefully that is achievable in the not too distant future. So definitely on the radar there, Nathan. Yeah, we understand this value for that. Okay, how are we doing? Any more questions or anywhere else you'd like me to do? So feels like we might be getting towards the end here, and thanks everyone for hanging in as long as you can. Hopefully I've managed to give a sense of you know, what the new world, the new InfoEx world is like. So of course, I think you've got the idea that you may need to make some changes to be kind of starting up ideally where you want, and of course that's recommended to do before your first operational day. Get best if you can to get into that well in advance. Go through the process, get it all set up, and then ideally practice. So yeah, so you can do that in the test system, which is available to you, or yeah, maybe you've got kind of training days or whatever that you can kind of get into InfoEx for real and see what's going to happen. I would just, especially, there's going to be some changes to the run list coming up. So for those of you that use the run list, I think that's really important. That's an area that is quite complex, and there's been some changes made. So making sure in advance your run list is going to work, I think, is a really good thing to do. And if there are any problems, of course, be interested to know about them and get them resolved. And probably same for other things. You know, if you're a control extension user, then set up your new templates, see how things are looking, and kind of think forward to what's going to happen when your whole team does it for real, and you know, what's maybe been missed, gone wrong, and then we can resolve this as soon as possible. Yeah, and as I said, hopefully there's you know, this is a stepping stone. There's I guess, as you sense from the answer to the questions, there's you know, there's a bunch of stuff being done, but there's a whole lot more we want to do. So we really want to get the app stable, working well for people, so that you're not dealing with bugs or problems on a daily basis. So stabilization is most important, but we've also got a large amount of great ideas and suggestions and enhancements to move on to, and we want to make that happen over the next few months. I'm not seeing any more specific questions. Brent, is there anything else?
I think it looks like you've covered most of the questions there, Stuart. We don't have any from the floor, and I don't see any more in the chat box there. Yeah, it just looks like folks are now commenting on they're excited and can't wait to start playing with the new toys.
Okay, well, that's great. Really appreciate everyone tuning in today, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you know, if there's anything we can help with. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stuart. Thanks everybody for attending our third session of the day. Once again, all these sessions are sponsored by Arc'teryx today. And the next session, Uwe will be on in a couple hours, pardon me, an hour and a half. And he's going to be talking about your mediograms and patterns and recognition. Thanks again, Stuart, and I hope all you folks have yourself a good afternoon. Thank you.